Hello, folks. There's been a lot of volatility in the stock markets in the last few weeks, and so I want to take a look at. We're gonna look at SPX, S&P 500, the Dow, and the Nasdaq. We're going to look at monthly, weekly, and daily time frames for all three markets. Let's jump right into it. There I am down in the corner. All right, here we go. This is SPX in the monthly time frame. If we look at this Andrews pitchfork, we can see that price reached up to the first median line extension. We got a little bit of an overthrow. Obviously, we rolled over and pulled back at that level. If we throw a Fibonacci retracement on this price movement, and this is coming out of this was the big scary plunge, as I call it, in March of 2020. Fibonacci retracement of that move, well, here we are at 38%, and notice how price tapped that level and then bounced. And of course, this is the current month that we're in. We got a few more trading sessions before we close this candlestick. In Andrews Pitchfork's terms, once price has pushed through a median line, the next target becomes the next median line. And so in this case, our current price target, based on Andrews Pitchforks, is the median line of this fork. It's coincident with the 38% retracement, and that would suggest a sideways bumping consolidation for a while before price does whatever it's going to do next. Doesn't mean that's going to happen. It's just that is a possibility. MACD is in bull mode, so that suggests that the primary trend remains up in this time frame. We'll see. Let's drop down to the weekly time frame. And so here in the weekly time frame, we can see that price dropped through the support level. You can see we had support, and then a failure and headed lower. Price appears to be following support along the median line of this fork, which of course is downwards. But then we also have this horizontal support level. Price appears to be bouncing at that level. MACD's in bear mode and on a sell signal. And so bear mode in the weekly time frame suggests that the primary trend in this time frame is still downwards. If we break through or drop through this support level, we've got some more support coming in here at, call it 3,700. Cross of the 10-week moving average below the 40-week moving average, In the daily time frame, we can see that price is trying to find support. We've got support from the median line of this shift pitchfork. We've got the horizontal support level. It's around 38.68. That's where I've drawn the line. These big long long lower wicks on these candles suggest that price is trying to head higher. MACD trying to do a new buy signal. Hasn't given us a buy signal yet, but we're close. You can see that in the histogram. If the markets want to move higher tomorrow, we're likely to see a green bar on the histogram. We'll get a new buy signal in the daily time frame. Let's keep rolling. So that's the S&P 500. Not looking too bad. I mean, obviously it's not great. I think we're down, I think we're not quite down 20% in the S&P 500, which for whatever reason, Wall Street calls 20% an official bear market. So not an official bear in the S&P 500 yet. This is the Dow in the monthly time frame. Same thing, pushing higher, reached a level and then rolled over. And so now we've pulled back to the median line of this Andrews pitchfork. Fibonacci retracement, we've got a 38%. Finding support at that level appears to be so far. This would be a good place to find support and turn back up or do some sideways consolidation along this level. We'll have to see what happens. MACD remains in bull mode, although on a sell signal currently. For people interested in Andrews pitchforks, what's going on here, this is a sliding parallel. And so Dr. Morge taught taught me, rest in peace, Dr. Morge. When you have a valid pitchfork, and I would argue, or I would defend this as a valid pitchfork, because price is doing what Dr. Andrews told us it would do, reaches the median line of the fork. When it reaches the median line, there are one of five things, one of five possible behaviors that are likely to occur next. In this case, we could call this a zoom and a retest. So we got price zoomed through the median line and then pulled back for a retest before heading higher. We also have price obviously finding support along the upper median line of this fork and then finding support at the median line. So when we have identified a valid pitchfork, we can draw lines that are parallel. You can see that this line, it's just a trend line drawn parallel to the lines of the pitchfork, and then we can slide it around. That's why Dr. Morge called these sliding parallels. It's parallel and you can slide it around. And so we can see that price basically was channeling between the upper median line and the sliding parallel. I'll keep this video short, so I won't talk about frequencies, but basically a valid pitchfork identifies a frequency at which price is oscillating. And so any line that is parallel to that pitchfork has the same frequency as the fork does. And so that's why the sliding parallel is valid. It's at the same frequency as the fork. Here we are in the weekly time frame, downward action, but notice that in this time frame, we don't have a lot of support below us. We've got the lower median line of this modified shift pitchfork. And notice that price found support at that level and bounced. Currently, we're in the middle of that range, and so price has either got to go up and challenge resistance or come down lower and try to find support. Based on MACD, we are in bear mode, meaning the primary trend in this time frame is downwards, and we are on a sell signal. So this is not, I would not call this indicative of bottoming action at this point. We got a round number, 30,000 round number down here. We could get some sideways action. Maybe price wants to touch the median line again and then head lower. We're due for a little bit of a relief rally. I mean, look, this has been a substantial movement to the downside. It wouldn't be surprising to have a counter trend rally before price rolls over and heads lower. And that is my expectation, folks, in all honesty, with rising interest rates, inflation raging, geopolitical turmoil all over the planet, just about anywhere you want to look. Check out Sri Lanka if you haven't already, if you aren't aware of what's going on there. And so anyway, in the current environment that we are in, it's hard for me to rationalize a resumption of the bull market, and so I won't try. Here we are in the daily time frame of the Dow, and we can see this is a counter trend rally in this time frame currently happening. We got this bottoming candlestick. Look at the big, long lower wick on that candle. Definitely a bullish candle occurring off a support level. We've got support at this horizontal level and at the lower median line of this pitchfork. Notice, however, how nicely this modified shift pitchfork is tracking the current down movement. And so we got bottoming action at the lower median line of this fork, headed higher, tapped the upper median line of the fork, and then just rolled over and puked, pushed a little bit through the median line, dropped below it on the next, dropped all the way down to the lower median line on the next bar, and then we get this bounce. Based on Andrews pitchforks, it wouldn't be unreasonable to expect price to roll over at this point, albeit MACD looks like it wants to bottom here and head higher. So, we'll see what price does. We've also got we got a support resistance zone. We can see there's resistance, breakthrough, support, support, breakdown, push back through, breakdown, and now we're testing that level from below. So that's what price currently has ahead of it if it's going to head higher. It's got to work through this resistance zone. We're going to get some resistance at the median line of this shift pitchfork, and we've got the 20-day moving average there. So a lot of overhead resistance for the Dow, assuming that it can head higher. But again, wouldn't be surprising to see price roll over even this week and head lower. Excuse me. NASDAQ, this NASDAQ in the monthly time frame, we could say that price is sitting on support. This is a Fibonacci retracement. And actually the 0.5 or the 50% retracement, that's actually not a Fibonacci level. The 50% retracement comes from Dow theory, and it gets included on the Fibonacci tools because it's not uncommon to see see price react at the 50% retracement level. But keep in mind that that's not a fib level. Where we do have support in this time frame is at this 11,000 round number, which is coincident with this, that's the lower median line of this Andrews pitchfork. So potential support level where we're at or a little bit lower, potentially down all the way to 11,000 to find support. Round numbers act as support and resistance. It's a human psychology thing that everybody expects a reaction at round numbers, and so they tend to happen. MACD is in bull mode on a sell signal. That's a big pullback. NASDAQ in the weekly time frame, same kind of stuff. That arrow doesn't belong there, excuse me. So price in this Andrews pitchfork has dropped to the median line and has just followed it down for the last several weeks, just bouncing on support at this lower median line. Of course, it's a downward sloping fork, and so every candle, every week has gotten lower in price. Based on Andrews pitchforks, we don't have any reason to expect bottoming or a reversal at this point. There's our 11,000 horizontal support potentially. That would bring us down to the 40-week moving average, which would give us another layer of support. MACD is in bear mode on a sell signal. So this is not good looking action. Let's flip this to a modified shift. Now there, we might make an argument that potentially that is a bottoming level, support along the lower median line of this fork. So, maybe NASDAQ can manage a rally. Although, there's nothing in the MACD histogram to hint at a upturn at this point. Let's drop to the daily time frame, see if we see anything different. And I don't. We've got potentially some bottoming action in here. Let me just throw, you could throw a trend line in there and talk about, is that a triple bottom potentially? Got some relatively long lower wicks on these candlesticks, which could suggest bottoming action. MACD hinting at bottoming. Histogram, potentially, if we get some upward action tomorrow, we could get a green histogram and a buy signal in MACD. Remains to be seen. From Andrews pitchfork perspective, our support is lower, as is the 11,000 round number. So that's the equity markets, folks. Nothing exciting there. Oh, and I believe that the NASDAQ is officially below 20% pullback from the highs in 2021, which would mean officially a bear market in the NASDAQ. So that's all I got for you on the stock markets. We'll see you soon, folks. Have a great day.